So the role of an embryologist these days is quite a lot of lab work, but also a lot of admin and talking to patients as well. So an embryologist looks after patients generally once they've had their eggs collected. So our role is to perform egg collections, so identify eggs at the time of egg collection, wash and prepare those. We would then have to prepare sperm samples. So that we have various techniques of preparing those samples so they're right either to inseminate eggs with, so to fertilise normally, or to do ICSI with. So we try and remove the dead sperm and cells from samples and keep the best sperm for insemination. We also have to check for fertilisation following day, grade embryos. Sometimes we'll do an initial grading and then leave the embryos till day 5. And on other occasions we need to check those embryos more frequently to see how they're developing. We also do ICSI for a lot of our patients, so that's when patients have either had low fertilisation in the past or they've got the partner has a poor sperm count or poor sperm motility. So we then need to bypass the normal mechanisms of fertilisation and inject single sperm into each of the mature eggs. We also freeze sperm, freeze eggs and freeze embryos for patients, either to preserve their fertility or if they're having a fresh cycle and they've got surplus embryos available after they've had their embryo transfer, then we can freeze them for future use and future treatment, which means not having to go through the whole egg collection process again. We do a lot of talking to patients, so either before their treatment, during their treatment, let them know the quality of their embryos, how things are going, quality of their sperm samples, any questions that patients might have, we're happy to try and answer. We are audited quite heavily these days, so all our performance is checked against each other's. So we have a level benchmark that we're expected to achieve with fertilisation rates, with ICSI rates, with everything that we do basically is checked to make sure we're achieving that sort of minimum standard. And then of course we have a lot of admin, so there's lots of paperwork, lots of consent forms, lots of things which aren't handling embryos but are still an important part of the patient's treatment. So usually in the lab we will be on a certain shift each day, so we might be the person that's collecting the eggs, we might be doing sperm preps, we could be doing ICSI and stripping eggs in preparation for doing ICSI. All the things that I mentioned before, freezing samples, freezing eggs, freezing embryos, somebody will be on a shift looking after that particular part of the day. We might be taking cells out of embryos to biopsy, preparing for the following day, speaking to patients on the phone, giving them their fertilisation news, their embryo news, whether we've been able to freeze any embryos. So usually a busy day. I like doing ICSI because that's the process of injecting a single sperm into eggs, because I think it's quite a technical process. You need good sort of hand-eye coordination, and you actually have quite a lot of impact in how that treatment will go because you are responsible for injecting that sperm into the egg. A lot of other processes are us observing things, so we can observe embryos developing, but we don't have any impact on how they're going to develop, whereas the ICSI process, you're actually helping to fertilise those eggs. So I like doing ICSI. Other people are much keener on other parts of the job, but for me, I'd say ICSI probably.